Good morning, zookeepers, and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today is a bit of an experimental day. I was playing a bit of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, and then I was like, you know what? I really want a viewing tower gallery. And I was wondering, can I do it in Planet Zoo? So I was experimenting a bit. This path ended up being a little bit too wide than I wanted. I realised I could make it shorter, so smaller, compact. As you can see, after I built this, I was like, oh yeah, I can make this. I can make this generally a lot more smaller than I already did. So it already looks really wide. I was kind of messing around with designs, like trying to get it to have like a bit of a different texture and look to it. In the end, I just go for like straight concrete. It would be cool if there was in the game lifts that guests could use, because then I wouldn't have to do the stair thing, and I could make it even more like a tower rather than how it looks. Like, I feel like they look really chunky. You'll see in my final design after I've shown you how I actually put it together, because unfortunately when I knock this one down and then go to make my second one, I kind of forgot to hit the record button. That's on me. That really is on me. So yeah, but anyways, this is the kind of gist that I was going for. I went stairs all the way through the middle. It goes underground, so they have to go to a separate area to get to this and go through an underground tunnel, as this is going to be the center of the enclosure. Like I said, this is a very experimental thing, so I decided that this enclosure is going to be a mixed savanna habitat, and we'll get to that bit in a little bit anyways. So yeah, I was just, like I said, messing around with this, seeing what I could do, and this is what I eventually came up with. I decided to make it look like there's a bit more to it than just concrete. So on the corners we use these iron girders, keep them black and have them stand out amongst the concrete there. And I feel like it looks kind of interesting. I don't know what else I can do to this, what more I can do to make it look interesting. As much as I love the pathwork in the middle, I don't know if I want that on display, or do I want certain aspects of it in display and how I would do it. But this is technically like generation 1 of my viewing gallery towers. Not that they're very necessary, I just think it's kind of cool. Like, it's just a different way for our guests to view the enclosures, and with it being in the centre, I think one thing I'll do if I do make one of these in one of my zoos properly would be, it'd be for a giant enclosure, especially make this a lot bigger than I have done. This is quite a small enclosure for the amount of animals that are in it, and as you can see, I've salvaged things from past builds, like the ostrich house right here. I ripped that straight out. I was like, you know what, that's where I'm going to put the entrance for the zookeepers to get into this enclosure, and it can work out as a small little shelter for the smaller critters. In the back, you'll notice I have nicked I think it was my second ever enclosure. We did the elephant enclosure. I nicked the house from there, and I'm going to just decorate it up a bit more, change it up slightly, and add a few more details to it. Things I didn't do when I first got this game. So originally I did have I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically metal plating, and it wasn't what I wanted, but I didn't have the Australian pack then, so I didn't have this corrugated iron. As it was corrugated iron, I was kind of wanting for the sides of the roof. And so yeah, I got to add that in. I added some windows so it had natural light in there as well. Eventually we will be adding normal lights in there, and yeah. As well, to break up the wood and stone, I went all the way around using the iron girder, so it has like an outline, looks very different. In the back, I'm going to be making a staff area and also an area in storytelling, as it were, is how we got the elephants and giraffes into that enclosure, and it has like a very secure barring. And I'm going to do a staff area in the sense of that's where they're going to make the food for the animals. It's also where they have all their cleaning equipment for the enclosure. I was spacing it out using this big door here, so I had it roughly the same size all the way down, and there wasn't too much difference, and like it wasn't noticeable that I freehanded it, and that's the kind of vibe I was going for. I wanted it to look somewhat even all the way through and have like a I don't know how to explain it, a less choppy, messy look than some of my builds I've done in the past when I've like, oh, it's not lined up, but oh well. I tried to make it lined up, and I feel like it looks really cool at the back of this building, the staff area. Now, as you see right now, I'm trying to like select something that would look nice as a tabletop, and I end up picking this side. It actually kind of looks like the tabletops that I was working on at one of the zoos I used to work at ages ago. So we had these long metal tables, and I thought, yeah, that'll look kind of cool in there. That's a sort of like kitchen area-ish. At some point I probably will try and make a sink to stick in there. But yeah, I was quite happy with this and all the different bits of like veg knocking around on the table. So it's like they've somewhat been in there, and they've got some more stuff to prep to throw into the enclosure. And I was just messing around looking at different things. What else could I stick into this? Because I've never, like, I think only once or twice I've really delved into making a staff area. I feel like this is the most I've ever done into one staff area. Maybe I'm a Snow Leopards, I did a bit more. But yeah, something I always remember were the pallets full of like dried pellets, just sticking it, like just chilling in the corner, and the pile of empty pallets from when we've been moving food from different areas or other sections of taking food. So I added that into there, and I feel like it just remind me of the old bit, like the kitchen that I used to work in. It was for the birds, reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates, fish, and it was like at the back of the elephant house. So there was tons of pallets of all sorts just knocking around, and then like pallet piles. So yeah, I thought I'd add that. Anyways, onto the planting. I decided I was going to make my grass, like savanna grass, into one section, and then when I've made what I wanted with the gaps I wanted, I was just going to copy and paste it and like sort of fill out the gaps and hover it over so it's dead thick in places, and then areas it was not so thick and had these like little narrow paths. And then I will be adding trees and bushes to it to try and thicken it out a wee bit more. As well, I made this nice little shallow pool with a slight deep-ish middle bit so elephants can go for a little swim in there. And then I go around just adding loads of different trees, trying to like make it look very interesting, very planted, so there's enough like to block out certain views. Animals can hide underneath it from the gazing eyes of my viewing gallery tower. And it's just, I like putting plants in. What more can I say? I just like messing around with like adding all these different plants and things like this. But sometimes I do feel like I go a bit overboard with it, but nevertheless I do enjoy placing all these different plants even. I sort of like change the texture of the ground ever so slightly so it's not just all sand, and then I go around adding like loads of different of these desert rocks knocking about, just so it's just something different and it's kind of there decorational. So I always forget to really put in a lot of my builds in the Planet Zoo are just rocks. I don't know why, I heavily use them in Jurassic World Evolution, so yeah, I kind of forget to add them onto Planet Zoo for some reason. So yeah, we've got a load of different animals in here. Like I said, this was more just an experiment for me. The main part of it was just the tower, and then I was like, you know what, let's do something with this and try and make an enclosure out of it, but not make it too big. Next time I will be making it bigger, just because I feel like it will suit that a lot better than just having it as the way I had it anyways. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this enclosure, like taking old buildings I had and just adding a bit extra to them, making it like sort of fleshed out a bit more from when I used to build my buildings. So it was just something different for me. Like I said, it was full of experiments, and I just wanted to see like a load of like savannah animals mixed together. Kind of reminds me how I used to play like Zoo Tycoon. Like this enclosure feels really cramped, and that's something I used to do. I used to just like have way too many animals when I was a kid in my enclosures. This is exactly what it reminds me of, and I absolutely loved it. It's all brought back like old memories of old games I used to play that was zoo management. But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this. And now going back to the tower, I feel like I don't know what else I'd do to like make it better, because that is as thin as I can make it. I don't want to make it too tall because it feels a bit crazy. Obviously there's no Brachiosauruses in this game. But something I'd love if they are making a Planet Zoo 2 would just be lifts, working lifts for your guests. Something like this would be awesome. And also I've seen plenty of other YouTubers and TikTokers make these staff buildings with fake lifts inside, and it would be kind of cool if they were real. It'd make some builds so much more interesting and add like an extra depth to the game. Anyways, I hope you have enjoyed this build and that's given you some inspiration with your builds. I haven't placed any of this on the workshop. If you wish to add any of these things to your parks, let me know in the comments below and I'll get around to adding whatever part you asked for in the workshop if you wish. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later.